Journal entry, 17th of the month of July, in the year of our Lord, 1072. My dalliances with my master's daughter, before I ventured out into the world, might have left me with a sense of confidence in my own charms and wit, not entirely matched by my success in wooing a lady in status above a bathhouse wench. Alas, I must admit, the sting of rejection is verily felt. I had set my eye on Princess Adelheid of the Holy Roman Empire, who is said to be a pious and chaste woman in the service of the Lord, yet in my mind that would have made her both an easier and a more worthwhile mark. Guillemette had warned me, yet I in my hubris proceeded regardless, only to be most violently and humiliatingly rejected, and chased out of her residence like a common thief, crushing my dreams of the breathless liaison between the bashful princess and the dashing rogue. Thus I vanish into the night, but not as I had hoped, with a notch in my bedpost, but to the laughter and deserved ribbing of my friends. Vanish we must, as the Kaiser surely will be given word of this affront, and send half the country after us. We venture east into Bohemia, to see if we can outrun our reputation, and gain some much-needed coin, after my affairs have lightened our coffers considerably. That said, I am yet happy again to be travelling among my friends. It's tough to describe what's so appealingly intimate about the low buzz of a camp settling in for the evening. Maybe it's the hunger for loot and plunder on every follower's face, the chaos and mayhem of the baggage train unwinding from a day on the move, or even the bellows of Ermenegildo as he leads the knights in their daily bouts. All of this forms a quiet, comforting blanket of familiarity. This is my domain, and these are my people. A small kingdom, but one where I know every sight, sound, and soul. Now, we do have a few options here. I can simply retire to my own tent and lose some stress, which I have none of. I can get a shave and a haircut, looking immaculate. That is probably a decent idea. I can deal with the chaos of the baggage train, which would give us plus 10% movement speed for 10 years, or I could get 3 diplomacy for 10 years. I believe a shave and a haircut, especially given the recent events, are probably in order. So let's see if we can improve our appearance a little and make ourselves look a bit more dapper. In order to blend in a little bit better, and since I have purchased a somewhat subtle chainmail that I can wear under my clothes now, I've chosen, with the aid of my very ginormous knight, to sport a little bit more of an Iberian look, and we shall claim that we are travelers from northern Iberia and in no way related to the Frenchmen that have been reported stealing and robbing places around Klingenberg. Now, me knowing the Iberian language will help complete the deception and hopefully shake any kind of pursuers off a little bit. As we are passing through the barony of Magdeburg, we have found a secret. Aldrich, guest of the Prince Bishop, is secretly a devil worshipper. Now, I think what we can do, because of the I look in good in comparison, if we expose the secret, we should be given some prestige out of that. So the idea with prestige being getting the progress up, giving us hopefully better contracts that will pay more coin. But I'm not sure how that works with criminal contracts. We shall see, but I believe it should work the same way. Anyway, so let's attempt that and make it known to the Prince Bishop that one of his guests is a Satanist, and we gain 100 prestige out of that, and with that we are at the distinguished level of fame, or should I rather say infamy. As we pass through the forests of Dresden, trying to avoid the ongoing battles and sieges, it appears that some wildlife has found it in itself to begin chasing people. Morning brings a report that a man-eating beast has struck again. 2 missing from last night, found torn to ribbons and spread over half a mile by some mammoth predator. The sentries can't get a look at the darn thing. Whatever it is, it's got a taste for us and seems smart enough to follow us to follow after us during the day or early evenings. I cast my eyes to the blanket of trees stretching out in every direction, too dense to see more than a few hundred feet past the camp's perimeter, providing plenty of room for the terror to hide, watching, waiting, hunger slowly building for its evening meal. Now, I might be deceitful, but I am brave, and I am probably now relatively well armored with my dagger and flexible mail. So I shall simply go after it and take its head, as long as it doesn't eat anyone important. I shall go and take its head. It is a bear, apparently. We can't afford to wait another night to outrun the thing. Gathering my hunting party, I intend to end this, and to do so this very morning. The beast's tracks are surprisingly light, but clearly ursine. After nearly an hour, we reach a broad forest grove where the footprints simply seem to vanish. A guttural bellow from behind prompts us all to wheel around, where the gore-slick muzzle of a mammoth bear stares at us with all too intelligent eyes. The creature, its trap spun, breaks into a sprint. So, a martial challenge, prowess. I think prowess challenge is what we're going for. There is a 5% chance that it escapes, and if that happens, there's a 70% chance that I die. But a circle and surrounding it is not going to work, so I'm going to take it on personally. And it has fallen to our numbers. We have gained a fair amount of prestige out of that. And I believe now all of my followers are... I'm not sure if that's showing up here. No, it's not. But all of my followers should now have an improved opinion of me. Where is it? Come on. There we go. There it is. Savior, yes. So I have single-handedly saved us from the bear. I would have wished for an artifact, but one cannot have everything. However, my prestige has significantly improved from that. We have arrived at Czaslav Castle, the holding of King of Ratislav and of the King of Bohemia, who obviously does not have the greatest opinion of us, given my somewhat advanced reputation in thievery and all other manner of crime. I don't think we get anything else. This gave us +1 intrigue, but I think above that, there's really only negative effects. So I think the level 4 and level 5 effects on Gallows Bait are not necessarily worthwhile having, whereas the level 3s are giving useful benefits. So before that, so level 1 and level 3 are giving something useful, but 4 and 5 we don't need. So there is something we can do about it. We could, at some point, there it is. We could pay 175 coin to the local church, because the church is nothing if not corrupt at this time, and purchase ourselves some forgiveness, which will reduce the the overall Gallows Bait trade. But we have a stewardship focus, a stewardship perk available, so golden obligation it is. And let's see if anybody is close enough. Yes, there are quite a few people that are close enough. Who's expiring? That is over in France still, so not an awful lot we can do. But we'll begin with the Prince Bishop Jacques of Aquila, and he doesn't have enough gold, but he can pay off with what he has. I think the other ones we might leave a bit longer, and we will collect our due before we move off. Now, there is obviously first thing we'll need to do is we'll have to visit the castle. And I've got Ingeltrude here with me, who has joined us and has been charmed by Elchanan, my friend and personal physician. And the two of them have gotten married, despite the fact that she is a local Franconian woman. She's arrogant and gregarious, and she fits right in with us. So she's actually accompanying me here. So let's have a quick look, see who's up at the tavern. and still too early to actually get anything meaningful, but I might get, I get exotic intrigue, so that's about that. I don't think we have enough coin to hire anybody. I am still looking for somebody to fulfill the manhaggler role, and I believe we sort that by up. The best I could do would be average, and that comes, it's mainly diplomacy by the looks of it. So it's the diplomacy, and if anybody has, actually gregarious as well would help by the looks of it. But callous, sadistic, greedy, or diligent apparently would be helping. So if we're finding somebody who's good in diplomacy, who is callous, greedy, sadistic, or diligent, that would be of help. But nobody around here. We are still decent on supplies, so let's have a very quick. How much could we steal? 400. So, okay, they might actually go and summon the guards on me for that. Well, that's new. It might be my dreadful reputation. No, we're still good. We can steal some before we leave. Then it's not so impactful. Let's see if there are any... we could get actual intrigue contracts. So these wouldn't be criminal contracts. I don't think it's necessarily something that I'm... Well, not quite interested yet. We will see eventually. Maybe at some point we will be. But for now, I am done here because we do have, as we have passed through Dresden when the bear was chasing us, we have heard of the Barony of Wolkenstein, and there is a local count who people in the taverns have rumored to have amassed a fair amount of riches that we could, relieve him of. As we walk down the halls of the manor in Slani, the local landowner, Dobromil, turns to me. They say this part of the estate is haunted, my lord. I hesitantly look around. The hall is a bit darker than I would have expected, candles flickering at their posts. When we stop at the old dining hall, Dobromil turns to me again, this time with a grin. Would you like a tour of the haunted manor? So I've got André, Maurice, and Henri with me. And, intriguing. I am brave after all, so we're not letting us being shown up. We're walking down a dark and deserted hallway, and the few furnishings we come across are all covered up with sheets, adding to the ghostly atmosphere. Was that a rat? I hurry to catch up to my entourage. Dobromil turns to face us, squinting as he utters the words. And through here, my lords and ladies. I could stay with them, but that would be stressful. There might be something interesting over here. Let's have a look. I enter through a narrow door and am greeted by some form of dusky brightness coming from the covered windows. The room appears to have been an old study. Sat smack dab in the middle of the room on a pedestal is an ornamented Myrmicolian figurine. I approach it cautiously. Who would have owned this? It is in remarkably good condition, considering the location where it is stored. That gives us +1 learning, small health boost. I'll take it. And it looks... okay, small brilliant gemstones as well. It looks valuable. I'll take it. With my new possession in my pocket, I saunter around the dark and narrow halls. Eventually, I find the rest of the group in the dining room at the end of the manor. A large dark figure is hanging from one of the archways of the room, and I can't help but wonder what purpose that would serve. Also, the others seem slightly agitated. Dobromil jolts too and turns in my direction. My lord, what did you get up to? These dark halls aren't safe on one's own. Seems like a perfectly ordinary house to me. And with that, we have... is it not a trinket? Okay, where did it go? Did I not get something out of that? Huh, curious that. I would have thought that would have been a trinket that I would actually gain out of the whole thing. But apparently not. Not sure if that was bugged or if I misinterpreted that somehow. We have successfully pillaged the castle of Count Benno of Wolkenstein, who is rather irritated about the whole thing. But apparently my dreadful reputation is beginning to... oh, it's from the Torturer's Tools, yeah. He's beginning to intimidate some people. That's actually pretty good to know as well. We shall be known as the Dread Thief Bernard. And once I go to sea, I shall be the Dread Pirate Bernard. Mind the sacks and let's move. And with that, we have refilled our coffers quite successfully, and we'll be making our way back to camp. Snow covers the hills of the barony of Chaslav, and it appears to have frozen the underworld as well. There's simply nothing going on, and no contracts available. As such, I believe what the best course of action at this point is probably to collect what we can and then make our way east towards Hungary, and from there on we'll then move south on our path towards Constantinople. So for now, I have refilled our provisions. We have stolen a bit. We have gathered a bit. I'll call in my remaining contracts because I'm not sure if we would still be in diplomatic range of these. So I will simply have them pay off, and then we will make our way. Towards the barony, the county of Visegrad, where King Solomon sits and holds court, who obviously also doesn't have the best opinion of us, but that's where we shall move our camp. Is there anything interesting on the way? Not particularly. I might want to try to avoid the more dangerous areas. I mean, in the end, we are dangerous, but by a very simple detour, we don't have to go through the recent battlefields. I think there's an upgrade that would actually be beneficial for that, but I don't think I have that, so I'm going to moving my camp over there. I think there was a barber's tent upgrade. Of course, I can't look at it now because I don't have a slot available. But I think there was one that was, I think it was Mortician's Tools that allowed us to, basically pillage battlefields. So that might be an interesting upgrade to take at some point. But for now, we will make our way across the wintry lands of Bohemia and into Hungary. Oh, this is one of my favorite events. I have not seen this, I think, in the other campaign, but none in my camp are intimately familiar with the terrain in Chaslav, and such lands are not to be trifled with. It is for this reason that I find myself standing in front of a local guide, bartering for services to be rendered. It's no joke out there, she offers, drawing air in through gritted teeth, a theatrically worried gesture. You'll need either these maps or my services, I can tell you that for free. She's right, but there's something about her demeanor that makes me hesitate. So we could... aha! She is after my necklace, I see. No, what I really want is... not her. But what I really want is the detailed maps, maps artifact. I had that during one of my test games, and it is amazing. 20% travel speed and safety. That is absolutely overpowered. So for 50 gold, this is, when you're playing adventurer, this is one of the really, really useful ones I find personally. So that's well worth the 50 coin. And with that, I can immediately equip that. So right now my travel speed is 113%. But if I add these, interesting. Yeah, it stacks up, but it improves our safety quite a bit as well. So it stacks nicely, and we should, if we can get our base travel speed up a bit from the camp upgrades, then this will make a really big impact on everything in the end. So this is a really, really useful artifact I find when you're playing adventure. There's many a battle going on here, so definitely something to be aware of. But we will be arriving soon. I think we've made it safely through. There is, however, in the high altitude and the brisk air of Esztergom, a very refreshing quality as we traverse the local hill fort. The soldiers in the valley below appear to be practicing some rare type of training technique I haven't seen before. I move in closer, failing to restrain my curiosity. While doing so, I am approached by the local captain, Ishchak. Would you like to join in, my lord? He could give somebody rough terrain expert. What do I have? I have already learned the open terrain expert, but I could go for the rough terrain expert as well. So let's see. I mean, there's a 20% chance that I get reckless, which is not a terrible trait as well. But the expert trait's, I think, slightly better in general, although we're not planning to fight battles. But for the 5 coin, I'll take it. And we got the rough terrain expert. Unfortunately, Visclavara the Insane has been bitten by a snake. I've got, that's what I've got Elchanan for. He is a skilled healer and he can take care of her pretty easily. And then once she has recovered, we have visited the capital of the Kingdom of Hungary, and there are some interesting opportunity around to make some coin. So it is spring, and I believe we shall spend a bit of time here, make a bit more coin, because the pavilion's almost done, which means we can build the final upgrade, and then it's just a matter of getting these upgraded further. We already have the ransom cages, so the other thing we could do, because that should give us the opportunity to abduct people. Now, can we? Yes, we can begin abducting people. I just need somebody for this position before we start doing that in earnest. So that's another opportunity to gain some coin besides the contracts. Now, unfortunately, my distinguished level of fame has not given us any higher tier contracts just yet. So we will content ourselves with common theft, banditry, robbery, and other sorts of skullduggery. The pavilion has been upgraded to level 3, which means we have now another slot open. And the last one that I would like is the supply tent for 2 reasons. First of all, it allows the subdued gear upgrade, which gives us additional scheme secrecy. And it reduces the Gallus Bait experience gain, which is good, because that means because we are starting to get a little high on that. It also unlocks the Master Thief, which gives us an opportunity to steal artifacts, and that is something I'm very keen on. So eventually, right now, what makes us the most coin is, common banditry and similar things, but eventually I would like to somewhat cleanse our reputation and be more known to be as a gentleman thief, let me put it that way. So the idea here is, let's construct that. The idea here is for Bernard, who is ambitious, to not just be known as a common thug, but to make his way into the higher classes and, take everything from them that he can for his own enjoyment and coin purse. After robbing the local vaults, mugging the citizenry, and burning down property, I believe our reputation at this point has come to the stage where we cannot move quite as easily anymore. We're maxed out on Thief. We're at level 4 Marauder. I haven't really done much in terms of Trickster. I don't know if if there's a specific kind of mission in there, but we can't quite ask the church yet to forgive our sins because we're not pious enough. So instead, we'll make our way towards Constantinople in the Byzantine Empire, and I can still ask the local count for a favor. The old drunkard, he owes me, and I might ask him for. He's probably going to give me a light footman, if I'm going to be honest. I could ask him for a men-at-arms regiment, but I am not entirely certain what he would give me. But we will need to begin. I mean, I could just create them by myself and pay for them. But we will need to have some more serious protection soon as we travel, which is going to impact the amount of supply that we're consuming as well. But that's why I want to have the camp upgrades on the baggage train and on the supply tent, because there are quite a few things. Well, first of all, it improves our provision and supply capacity quite a bit, but it also means that there are a few upgrades that we can use to reduce the consumption, and that would help. So for now, I think I may actually just call that favor in, because we're not going to return here, I think. So let's ask him. We'll spend some, and he gives us actually some armored horsemen. Okay, that is going to be somewhat pricey in terms of provision, but we now have an actual, we have 50 armored horsemen with us, with our camp, which is going to impact the amount of supply that we're consuming, but at the same time also begins acting towards our safety as we travel, since our reputation has become a little bit too well known for my taste. The supply tent has been completed, which means the subdued gear is next on the list. Was there anything else that I need here? The driven settlers, it could do. It's 25% stewardship experience, but we're not going to stick around in stewardship for much longer than necessary. It gives it gives us 0.1 passive income per month, which isn't bad, but the subdued gear unlocks the Master Thief, and that gives us a few more options. So I think that's the one that I'm going to do, and it reduces the experience trade gain. So that's what we're going to construct. And then we'll be on our way towards Constantinople in the Byzantine Empire.